So, you know what? We were talking so good in the hall, and then I totally forgot that the show was starting, and then we ended up starting late. And you know what? I just want to fucking get bang into this show because we got Ryan Schneider here, and we're ready to rock. And I need a pop. I need to get a pop out of the fridge. But there's only one way that I can accomplish all this and still go on with this broadcast, and that's to play the goddamn theme song.
I'm on it.
Come on, applaud me.
Oh, my goodness. What one is it?
Kevin!
I got
W!
it. It's Q. It's Q.
Q.
That's W.
I demand I'll take either of them.
All right.
Stone Cold Silence is not what I want after the theme song.
Cut that shit off.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and welcome to the Dutch Hall with Pete Van Dyke. I'm your host, Pete Van Dyke. I'm just going to say it because we haven't said it in Season 8 yet, but I'm going to go right out on a limb. I'm going to fucking say it to the universe.
You got to say it.
Two-time President's Club Award winner, Pete Van Dyke. That's what I am. And, Kev, you nailed the goddamn applause. You're back in my good books.
Oh, I was a minus to start the show.
You were?
I was.
You started in a deficit today, I got to admit, but you've redeemed yourself.
Playing even right now.
I'm so happy to have you, Kev.
Oh,
And who's Kev, you might ask? That's Kevin Van Dungeon. Thank you. Give yourself a round of applause, Kevin.
Okay.
Come on.
It's not working. There it goes.
Come on. There you go. We'll give it to him.
I really should have had one of those. Anyways. That was abrupt.
And our guest tonight is coming to the Dutch Hall. First time. Dutch Hall virgin.
Ooh.
But you've already let out a couple of tidbits in the pre-show interview that we had in here.
Yep. On the casting
which is
couch.
not a pre-show interview. It's just you sat here and we talked, right?
We get comfortable.
Yeah.
We had him on the casting couch.
Yeah. Well, we made him take his shirt off a little bit, and we because I wanted to get a good look at your body.
No doubt.
Which body?
But anyways, no, you have listened to the show before.
It's been on.
Yeah. Well, that's just really cool that but it's your first time in here. So we always like to have people that actually have listened to the show that are in as our guest. It's a man that I've done comedy with in Hamilton, Ontario. Mostly is where we've done shows together. And he's first time here, Ryan Schneider, everyone.
Yeah.
There you go. Kev nailed it again.
Oh.
What he does is he makes you wonder. Makes you wonder, is he going to do it this time? Is he going to fucking just completely screw it up?
Leave you hanging.
Yeah.
Schrodinger sound guy.
I cannot figure him out. I'm trying to figure out a way. Like Kevin and I know each other forever. But I'm trying to figure out a way how I can bust his balls a little bit on the show. Because before we had this guy Dave Charters on the show. Do you remember? You ever see a show with him on it?
I've never seen the show. I am only a listener.
You're a listener, right?
Yeah.
Those are the highest quality fans of our program.
For
our
sure.
listeners,
Do you listen to the end?
Yeah.
Do you ever? Anyways, Dave Charters, we used to kind of pick on him a little bit on this program. Sometimes we'd make fun of him, and people liked it. And then we even sold lighters that said "fuck Charters," and people enjoyed those. And then sometimes people would send us feedback. Yeah, and then and they would say at the end of it, they go "fuck Charters,"
That's a good sound off.
Yeah, it was nice because like in the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, he would go out and do his monologue, and a lot of times jokes were kind of so-so, but he always had Doc Severinsen with a stupid suit on, like a Don Cherry suit on, so he knew if he was bombing, he could go make fun of dock for his stupid suit, and he had Ed McMahon there,
Ha!
who was a drunk. So he would always make fun of Ed McMahon for being a drunk. So if his joke was bombing that they wrote for him, he would just make fun of one of those two guys, and it would get him out of trouble. Excuse me.
Oh.
Sorry, Lori. On Holy Thursday of all days, too. We should think of family. Anyways, so where was I?
Charters.
Yeah. What was I saying about him, though? So,
That's what I think of when I hear charters.
But it was
of
a
that story, too.
A successful line of merch came out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
lighters.
Yeah, we even have those Rooster Sucks Balls lighters because people would sign at the end of their message, Rooster Sucks Balls, and then some people, there was like two camps of our listeners. There would be a camp of people who were like, "You're too mean to them. You gotta be nicer to them," you know, and they were called women.
Well, you don't caress a punching bag.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah.
said.
But Kevin has been in here as a stalwart in season 8, the entirety of season 8, and I've been trying to, say maybe Kevin can fill the role of the whipping boy, but he's bigger than I am. Charters was as thick as a brick, though. Like,
And I think a Pollock can take a shot.
yeah, that's the thing. I don't think I could hurt Dave either, and I've gotten into a bunch of fights with him actually in my life. Actually, he's next to my brother. He's the guy I've fought the most.
Like fisticuffs right to the ground?
There was one time, we were talking about this before the show. Me and Kevin were friends in grade school. And then we used to have fights at recess, but they were mostly sport,
Yeah.
It was
gladiators.
Yeah, like wrestling matches, like tag team wrestling matches we would have. Yeah. It was more like theatrical. It was a bit of performance, but
yeah, we all wanted to be like WWE superstars.
Yeah, we were big wrestling fans.
You have signature moves where you're like, okay, I'm doing my move. You have to go along with it for a second.
Yeah, there was a certain give and take.
Yeah,
Polish hammer, leg drop.
But there was when me and Kev, my buddy Adrian, and then who else was there? There was maybe Bernie.
Bernie. Yeah.
There was 4 of us. When we were doing it with each other, totally we were give and take, like you suplex me and then I'll suplex you or whatever. Yeah. It was for fun. Mm-hmm. But then there was this other camp of kids that were when we would challenge them to a one, it was more serious.
And they were interested in hurting us, if you can believe that.
Yeah, they had troubles at home and stuff that they had to bring to the...
No, I think they just didn't like us. And they
generally thought we were dicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we would fight them for realsies, and then kind of. And then I went to high school in Brantford with all of them. And Kevin went with all my other friends to a different high school in Waterford. And then so I got picked on by those guys a lot in the first year of high school until I went to the back of the bus and punched the biggest one in the face.
Heel turn.
Yeah.
You took your heel turn right there.
And then I was because I was so sick of getting made fun of at that point in time. I'm like, I'm going to have to take all 4 of you.
Did you ever make friends with that big, tall guy afterwards or not?
Oh, yeah. They were both, he was at my wedding party.
Oh, wow.
Yep. He was, yeah.
Small world.
Yeah, and the other guy this is leading to my fight with Charters, is that those guys it was that tall guy, and the guy beside him was Charters.
No kidding.
And it was always the mouthpiece Charters flapping his gums.
Stirring that pot.
And making fun of me for all the recess beatings he got in grade school.
Yeah.
And then ended up that in high school, I one time got off the bus and I threw him against the bus, and it got into a physical altercation. But it was nothing really serious. There was no real punches thrown. It was more roughing each other up, But it was more me roughing him up.
He came back to Waterford, I think, for grade 13.
Yeah, he did.
Charters. I think he won better grades, so he came to Waterford.
Yeah, he did. He did because it was considered to be a bit of a cakewalk to get your marks up there in Waterford. Yeah, I don't know what the difference was because you didn't learn about Jesus. I suppose.
No Jesus.
No Jesus. You don't get to be smart. I suppose.
No.
Yeah,
Wow.
if you don't talk. Did you go to Catholic school or public school? Folks, can you get in close to the mic there?
Public?
Just, you can drag it right close to you if you want. Just get make love to it.
Yeah, get that thing in your mouth.
Yeah, we want to make sure we can hear you.
Love is a strong word.
Oh, there you go. Now you're in.
Especially when we're talking about Jesus.
You went to public school?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't have to pray?
Never. Just to the Canadian anthem.
You do the national anthem, but no prayers, right?
No.
And would they talk to you about any how to be a good person shit, or is it all just reading, writing, arithmetic?
I think a history class most goes into it because it was like these are all the things that were awful and happened. You gotta not be like that.
So how did they explain Easter?
You just got the day off.
Oh,
yeah, we get the holidays.
No, I know you got the holidays. I was just wonder how they explain that because we were Catholics.
Oh yeah. We were told not to have fun at Easter. You gotta go home and you pray.
Yeah, no, that's extra homework.
Yeah. I go, this is really what happens. This is what I like to do. Actually, it's a good reminder because it is Holy Thursday, which normally, if it isn't fucking COVID, this is like a very lively night in the Dutch Hall because it's a Thursday night where you don't have to work Friday, and everybody is usually sleeping over, and it's a great night, you know.
It's April Fool's too, though.
Oh,
so
boy.
Maybe Jesus will do something different this year.
No, maybe.
He will not rise this year.
He's going to stay unrisen.
I'm going to stay in the tomb.
He'll
come out of a hat instead.
He has a lockdown. He's got to stay in there.
Push that rock back, fellas.
Doug Ford says I got to keep that fucking rock.
I am not coming out.
Anyways, we were talking about, Easter. You know what I do? This is what we do every year at Easter. It's Thursday night is the night where we feast. Do you know this? You Catholic? You're not?
No, I'm pretty agnostic.
Agnostic? You weren't brought up anything?
No.
Yeah. Did you have to go to church for Christmas?
No, I had a cousin that's family was religious, so I checked out a couple of the communions and that stuff.
Yeah.
And I found it very uncomfortable. I'm not a good hymner.
What's that mean, a hammer?
Hymner? Like doing the hymns?
Oh, hymner.
Yeah.
What do you think of the ritualistic nature of it all? Stand up, kneel, sit down.
I do love being told what to do, but it's nice to be in a whole room of puppets.
There is something about it that it's like you don't notice when you're a kid because you go to mass every week, and then at some point you get to be a certain age where you're it gets creepy. You know, where all of a sudden we're all saying the same thing at the same time. We all know the words, and we have to say the words. Now they're changing the words, and I have to say it their way again.
And then I was begging for that homily to go by faster.
Yeah. So you know what else? You know what they did that lost a lot of Catholics? I know they had words. Those words existed that everyone knew since they were kids. It was ingrained into us. You know, I could peace be with you,
and also with you.
Peace be with you and also with you. That was just how it was all the time. Every time someone would say, peace be with you.
Also with you. It's
how it goes, right? That's how you go. And then it's like you give the sign of peace. There would be a time in the church where you'd shake each other's hands and you'd say, peace be with you.
And also with you.
You just say, peace be with you back. I think it's like that. But it was one of those things. But it was always, and also with you. And now they came out, this is probably a decade ago or 15 years by now. But this is what turned me off of the church was what did I do? What did I do? I just want to make sure I didn't fuck anything up here quick because I touched the button.
Is that a caller?
No. Oh, there we are. We're
Al from Interkip. You're live.
We're flickering on. That's my YouTube here. I just want to make sure that this is looking good.
Humanity is flickering, Pete.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it is flickering. There's something that's wonky with my stream right now. I hope
it's the Catholic Church is.
It probably is. It probably is.
Shut this shit down.
Anyways, it usually gets itself together after a bit, but right now it's looking very shitty. But it sounds good, I think. Anyways, I don't give a fuck. The point is, we got a recording there. It's going to go out, and it's just it must be internet or something.
I gotta know though, what do they change "Peace be with you" to?
Oh, and in your spirit.
Oh my God!
So they you go peace be with you, and then you go in, and in your spirit.
But now you'd be touching elbows too in church, right? You wouldn't be like shaking hands.
No, I don't think. I don't know. I don't even know the rules anymore. I keep getting told that it's going on, but
In your spirit.
in your spirit.
It's like 15% capacity at religious ceremonies. How do they pick who's like the most devout?
Whoever needs it the most.
It's not first come, first serve.
Nope.
They can tell. It's written on your face how much you need the Lord.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. You walk up and they're like, get in. Other people walk up, they're like, you could. I think you're part of the 20%.
Yeah. Front.
Maybe next week.
Front row for you.
Yes. Yes, for sure. You get the first host.
Yeah.
At do they still call them hosts?
I think you're in the splash zone.
What is that thing called, Pete, that they shake that sprays the audience with holy water? And it's actually called a congregation too, isn't it?
What?
That thing they flick, and it's made of brass or gold or something like that, and he walks.
A wand.
It's a wand?
I don't know what it is.
Is that simple? They dip it in holy water and splash the crowd with it.
I don't know. You know what I saw the last guy do? He used like a pine branch.
Ooh.
And he just started like putting it in the holy water, and then it would really flip water at you.
I think.
And I'll tell you, the kids get a kick out of that.
Sometimes you can't beat nature's design.
I think they should do like the Ozzy Osbourne with a bucket of holy water and just like,
yeah,
or like wet T-shirt contest.
Like Gallagher.
Yeah, smash the bucket of holy water.
Fill a watermelon full of holy water like you used to with vodka.
Yeah, bladder.
And then go out there. The priest goes out there with a sledgehammer and just smashes the holy water like watermelon, and the congregation gets soaked in it. That's entertainment, man.
That is.
That's how you get butts in seats.
That will sell tickets.
Yeah.
I got to do something to keep the sound alive. Thanks.
Oh, there you go. Hey, I'm wondering if we should take a short break just to figure out my technical glitch, because it looks like it's just, I think if I just rebooted everything,
do it.
I could get this live stream going again. So if the two people who are looking at this thing still, I'm going to say bear with me, give me about 5 minutes, and then we'll be up and running again, okay?
I did send a link to my girlfriend and my mom.
Okay, yeah. Well, then we should do it for them, eh?
Absolutely.
For them, let's get it right, okay? Because I haven't even got into the meat and potatoes of you yet. Okay, wait. We'll talk to you in a second.
Is this a good time to grab another beer?
Yes, yeah, it'd be perfect time. Just gonna stop this here.
We're back for sure.
Yeah, we're definitely back.
We'll clean that up in post, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no. You know what? I'd love it in a perfect world. That'd be all cleaned up in post. If it's not the beginning and the end of the video,
Yeah.
I really, I don't know. I got something wrong with me. I had to do this ad. I got a real sponsor, like a decent sponsor. It's something that I think there's certain listeners that would actually use the product. It's going to be like it's decent, like it's a decent sponsor, you know. And all I got to do is do a friggin' ad. I got to read it into like the camera, and send it to them. And it's a minute ad, and they approve it, and then I'm off and running. I can do an ad every week, but I don't have to get it approved. I can just do it. But then I could do it now, like with you guys in the room, would be fine. But when I have to do it by myself, I'm like so nervous because I seem like a lunatic, you know, because you're doing it for nothing, right?
Just talking into a camera.
Nothing except for that sweet
cheddar
yeah
cake.
A little bit. I wish I could draw right now.
I like to pretend it's about the money, but it's not at all. It's like, but it's just nice to like. I finally, but I realize sometimes in my life that I get in these situations where, you know, like it's clear what I have to do. I know exactly what I have to do, but I just don't know how to do it. Like I can't bring myself to do it.
Well, sometimes you just got to get out of your own way.
Yeah, I know. But I'm going to keep trying. Every day, I figure you keep hitting at the rock, you'll eventually break it, you know? But so if I keep going back, like stand-up, like you have to have that mentality to be a stand-up, where you got to do something that doesn't make sense and then do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and then it makes sense. You know what I mean?
yeah and it's really important to blame the audience for your shortcomings.
You like that? Like like I see comics do that all the time, especially newer ones, you know,
Yeah.
where they'll think their jokes are funny and they'll start blaming the audience for not liking it. And
Your whole job is to read the room.
yeah, and it's like you get judged in comedy,
instantly
by the audience. It's not open for debate, you know, like it's like they either enjoyed it or they didn't. You can tell.
They're not going to lie for your benefit.
Even the famous ones only get a couple minutes, right, of their fame.
Yeah.
Right, like if and he probably will someday soon. Like if Jerry Seinfeld walks in this room, we'll laugh at a few of his jokes right off the bat, but then he's got to make us laugh.
Yeah,
legit.
They eventually you have to earn it. You're in a room, but it's still like you might laugh, but like the people are laughing. Oh, that's a good question for you, Ryan.
All right, hit me.
You have the ability, right, to be like a famous comedian, but your audience is a bunch of idiots. They don't get your jokes, but they love you and they laugh at everything you say, but they don't get them the way you're writing them.
Oh, fuck.
Or you can live a struggling existence where you are pretty much anonymous, but you kind of like struggle your way through a comedy life.
Maybe you're like appreciated after you die.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're respected after you die.
I think I'd go with the second one.
Yeah,
I'd rather be true to my shit. I think selling out just for I don't get into it for the fame. I would want to be appreciated for what I'm actually doing.
I agree.
If I was just up there and to the audience, for all intents and purposes, I'm just flapping my arms and mouth around, and they love that for some reason, but not the content of my jokes, it would feel hollow to me.
I feel like a TikTok video.
But I've never been like filthy, stupid rich either. Maybe that would make up for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just buy your happiness.
I gotta tell you, like since I started doing this show, like when I started doing this show, I had zero listeners, right? And zero. I never used the internet except for work. You know, like I did it. I had like at work, or I came home and used it for porn or something.
Yeah.
You know, like a regular person. And then, so then I started when I started this, like in 2013. Then the first time I ever had somebody that recognized, like that knew me from the show, that I didn't know, but they knew the show, and then they saw me in real life, and they were saying, "Hey, you're the guy that I listened to." That moment I was just so excited that somebody knew me from doing this.
It's an interesting feeling.
That I didn't care like what kind of person they were. You know, I just was happy that it was a person that liked what I was doing, you know? And then
a fan is a fan.
Exactly. You know, that's the way I looked at it, like just lucky to have them, you know? And then over time, I've had a few people who are fans who take my words and then like misconstrue them to suit whatever delusion they have, you know? Like I did the show about, it was called Meet a Muslim, and we had in our friend Ada. He's like a Turkish guy. He's like a drywaller. And he came in, he's like a regular dude, right? Like he's a totally normal guy. Good dude, right? So he comes in here. My whole point was there's a lot of like Islamophobic stuff going around. I wanted to kind of show people like Muslims are just regular people, you know. And so that was the whole point of the show. And I had a guy come up to me and say, "I love your show. I heard that Muslim one you did. You're right. Those guys got to get out of this country."
Whoa. Totally missed the point. Wow.
And I'm like, that's the opposite of what I was trying to do, you know?
That's reading between the lines.
Yeah.
Of like something else.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, so once in a while, I've felt that where you're like, I appreciate you liking my stuff, but you're getting it wrong, you know? Like you're mixing it up. Yeah, and I'm like, then I started thinking like, what if that's what I'm attracting? Like, what if I'm attracting like people and all they're hearing is like anger and hate out of what I'm saying?
Then all of a sudden you have this responsibility.
Mm.
Then you gotta organize like a big Kool-Aid drink.
Yeah. To murder my cult following?
The racist ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd have to like start like euthanizing, like kind of like genocide, for the people that I judge to be not worthy of my. I don't know. I think you might be going down a slippery slope.
Yeah, I do that a lot, and I'm not always wearing boots.
That's just a water skis.
So I want to say, I hope you're. Oh wait, we got.
You got a question?
That seems to be. Oh, that seems to be better. Ryan van der Vondervoort, thank you very much, and Andy Coote, thank you so much for the feedback. They told us that we're better, that our live stream is working better. This is awesome. People can actually tell us that they're watching our show now. I still got to wear glasses or something so I can fucking read it. But
I can see it better from here than I would if I was as close as you.
Oh, I got them. I still can't see, even with them on.
That's science.
Yeah, that's science. There are people that are still consuming the program, and before we get into the meat and potatoes of the interview, which I'm planning on doing a real one-on-one in-depth interview with you, Ryan. I'm taking this goddamn seriously. I did research.
I should hope so.
I spent time just sitting there thinking about you and thinking about our relationship and how we met.
Well,
I thought about, like, I haven't thought this much about you ever.
I firstly don't blame you, and I secondly, if I knew that, maybe would have dressed up a little bit.
Oh, you look fantastic.
I'm not. The clothes don't impress me. The clothes don't impress me. It's the man. It's the man inside the clothes. That's what me and Kevin made you strip down when you got in here.
Definitely.
Yeah,
no. Well worth it.
I thought that was just standard procedure.
That's how we do things normally. Yeah.
That's how we
COVID, eh?
I
Stop
could.
and frisk.
We had to make sure you're clean.
Yeah, not wearing a wire and all that.
Yeah.
Before you put me live on the air.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So, what are we going to... We have to do a segment on our show that we call a feedback. We got feedback. We got feedback. Welcome to Feedback. We got feedback. This week's segment is brought to you by our friends at Amazon. We're an inch closer to me getting a check from those motherfuckers, I'll tell you. But what you got to do if you want to give Pete some cake, some cheddar from my pockets, just to coat my pockets and so I can wash myself with money.
You got to say Bezos in the mirror 3 times.
Yeah. Or maybe so that I can just fix all my faltering technology, or put a smoke sucker in here so it keeps my equipment from getting all smoky from my weed habit. I digress. But anyways, if you want to do that, you go to livefromthedutchhall.com. You'll see Amazon banner there. Maybe you go to my YouTube page or whatever, the Dutch Hall with Pete Van Dyke. You go to the YouTube page, you see an Amazon banner there. Whatever you want to do, click it. You go right to the page where you can do Amazon shopping.
What happens if it's not working for you? What's the problem?
What do you mean?
You shut off that pop-up blocker, don't you?
Oh, that's right. If you don't see it on my website, there might be an ad blocker on there. You want to take that fucker off.
Yep.
You shut it down, and then you do your shopping. And then Bezos, he's a little bit less rich. Guess who's a little bit more rich? No, me.
And
right?
his wife, his ex-wife. She got a little cake, too, from him.
Yeah, but she's not going to get any more from these transactions I'm trying to get our listeners to do, Kev.
That's right.
Get your head out of your ass. Come on.
Did she sell all of her shares?
What?
Did she sell all of her shares?
Oh, okay. He's got you back in the game, man. Oh. You made me look like an idiot here. Hey? You used to thank that guy.
Thank you, sir.
Because he's true. He saved you.
I was shitting the bed there for a second. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she got stocks. She's going to do whatever she wants. Milk that guy. She's going to go space before he does.
She's a powerful woman. I hope she does.
Yeah. You know what's going to be cool? If we live long enough, we get to see Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and have space wars against each other.
That's going to be amazing.
It'd be fucking great.
Wish we had a pew-pew sound.
Mark Cuban will cover it.
Yeah.
Right? He'll be in like a bubble beside him and James Cameron. Or no, James Cameron's not rich enough.
Yeah, I think Cuban will have like some kind of sports team.
Yeah, he'll like the first space league.
Yeah. And he'll brag about how well he treats all the space league, whatever they are, warriors. Yeah. Good food, good conditions.
But then there'll be a rich Saudi guy who's like, well, all of our space athletes are under whip and chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're space athletes. You can do anything.
You can't just have one space team. They need competition.
They do. They would have lots of space teams. Even Poland's got a space program now. It's cheap to get in space.
I guess.
So it's only a matter of time.
It's a bit more expensive to get back safely, though.
Yeah, but
does Canada have one? Not likely.
I'm not even sure if we do. We usually, yes, we do have a space program. It's just that
we gave that arm to the space station.
Yeah. Remember? And we have Chris Hatfield and Roberta Bondar and all these astronauts that have been to space. But being an astronaut in Canada is like being a comedian in Canada. You can technically call yourself one, but
it shouldn't be the first thing in your dating profile.
Yeah, you got to leave the country in order to get to space.
Yeah, who really saw it?
What?
Who really saw it?
Yeah. Well, like they wouldn't go to space unless they went to the States to go to space. You know, like they're not going to. We don't send them out of like Moose Jaw.
Fire them off from Halifax or something.
We don't have the weather for it.
Nah, I don't know. We don't. There's a lot of things we don't do, but our country, you know why our country's so kind of fucked up is because we're so big, and it's difficult to like manage that big a geography that's so different from and tie it all together.
And the populations are all like close to the border too.
Yeah,
I like the idea of getting rid of countries and every city is just its own.
Oh yeah,
like city states. Yeah.
I know. I've been pitching for a while that you should have, like Toronto should separate from Ontario and become their own province.
They dictate the rest of Ontario,
and then Ontario could actually have a say in how the province is run, and then the rest of us can have a say because no one ever listens to us.
No,
we don't. It doesn't matter.
Out here, though, do you guys really want much?
Well, we want to not have Toronto make a bunch of decisions, and now we look at our waterfront, it's just a bunch of windmills because they had an idea, and then they put one up, you know?
We only have, like, one representative.
What?
Like, we only have one representative for such a big area, right?
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
And, like, the one time we had the Liberal government that was a provincial government, the Kathleen Wynne was our premier, and she didn't even have an agriculture minister. She was the agriculture minister. She didn't even have one.
And I bet it didn't come up very often in speeches.
No, I never. They acted like we didn't even grow any crops in Ontario.
No,
through that whole time, it was which as a farmer, like as a farm kid, you know, a guy worked in agriculture my whole life. I was like,
do you grow anything, or are you just farm adjacent now?
No, I'm just what's like I was born on a farm.
Yeah.
And then, so I can't not be a farmer at my heart, you know? And then I worked lending money for two farmers. Like I just worked in agriculture, lending money in that business. So I worked in that industry till I was like 40. And then,
you got out before you got a pension.
Yeah. That was
gotta dodge that pension.
That was my nightmare. I always like watched. I would go to like people's retirement parties, and I'd see this old guy that's sitting there. He put in like 35 years, you know, and then he's sitting there, and they give him a fucking watch, you know, and then like the next day they just forget about him.
Didn't even matter.
Yeah, and I'm like, if I tell my friends, you know, that I was working with, I'd be like, if I make it to one of these parties, you better get me as a retirement gift a shotgun because I failed. I failed miserably in every aspect of my life. I meant it like at the time too. I was like, I can't do this. I knew I was only in there for. I said I was gonna be in there 5 years, get their money and get out of there, you know. And then I ended up 15 in there. I got kind of hooked. You know, you get a mortgage, get kids and stuff.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it was. It was though. It really was though. Because you're not supposed to be there. The whole time you're like, I'm not supposed to be here. This isn't right. You know, like, you know that and you're wasting like
all your good years.
Yeah, years doing something that you know is just like not. It's kind of right. Everyone's telling me it's the right thing to do. You know, like everyone tells you that's the right thing to do. tell you to go to school. You say get something so you can get a job. These guys are offering you a job.
I like Shazma's one joke about the bank is just the money or the number store.
Yeah.
So as long as the bank's not
Don't
calling
do
you.
this material.
I'm not. No, it's a good philosophical basis
Yeah.
for your life is a little less stressful if the bank's not constantly trying to get a hold of you.
Yeah. It is true. If you can manage, that's the thing. They should teach kids financial literacy. If they ever taught kids financial literacy, like it would save so much trouble. Yeah. Just having some knowledge of how money works and how, to value it properly and stuff like that. Like I don't know how you can. Some people got it and some people don't.
Maybe the banks are lobbying the governments not to do that.
Those banks love getting credit cards in every 18-year-old's hand.
Yeah, I guess so. They prey on
They corner you, yeah.
That's a biggie at the colleges and universities, right? That booth.
Oh, yeah, man.
You need a credit card? No. You need a credit card.
Oh, yeah. Well, my wife, when she was in optometry school, too, I seen them do this to a lot of optometry students. They get, they go get to school, and then they say, here's a credit card, or here's a line of credit. You're going to be a professional, so you're going to be rich. So here's a line of credit, and
now max it out buying 1 year's worth of textbooks.
Oh, kids are buying motorcycles, they're going
stereos.
They're spending their money going across Europe on their summers and all that stuff. They spend all the money on fun stuff while they're young, and now they graduate. They got all that debt. They got their student debt from paying for school.
That's where they want you.
They got now they got to start a practice if they want to start a practice.
Mm-hmm.
They got to go into debt for that. And it's like they got and then they haven't even talked about the mortgage they need for their house.
Yeah,
if they're going to live in a house, right? So then you're talking about getting 3 mortgages. You're sunk,
right?
Before you ever start.
And even at a university and college level, they don't teach you anything. Just get in debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife, when she was in that same school and they were offering that stuff,
unless you're in accounting, then they'll be like, "This is a ledger. make sure your in is bigger than your out."
Yeah. That's the thing. I took that in school. I was kind of wired that way.
Yeah.
And then so when my wife was being offered that same money, I was like, "No, let's be broke.
Yeah,
it's better to be broke, and then we can." Then we live and then when we started making money, I said, let's still
live like you're broke.
Live like we're broke.
Yeah, but if society collapses while you're still alive, then everyone who was in debt actually won.
Huh?
Because they didn't.
They
didn't have to play by the rules. They never scrimped and saved, and the result's going to be the same.
Right, and even in 2008, that kind of happened because they forgave a lot of debt during that period of time, And in the 80s, around here, when the interest rates were real high and everyone was losing their farms, they forgave a lot of debt during that period of time. And they'll have to do it again when the shit hits the fan. Who knows when that's going to happen? It could happen soon. I don't know if it's going to happen soon.
Do you have your shit hits the fan duffel bag?
No, I'm starting to hit the
you invested in silver?
Funny you should say. That's one of the things. I'm silver, gold, and Bitcoin are the 3 things I'm looking at to protect myself from the shit hitting the fan.
I'm not sold on the cryptocurrency. I do think rare minerals though is good. The cobalt mines in the Congo. If you can get a piece of that.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about those is that they're tangible things. They're physical things. And even when you buy gold or silver, you shouldn't just buy gold or silver like you would an investment where it's on paper it's gold or silver. You got to order the gold or silver and have it come to your house so you can have it in your hand, and then you need to put it in a safe somewhere or something,
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be real gold because
or in the interim, let's say we have
there's bullshit gold out there.
Let's say we have 10 years, you invest in the mining companies right now. Because as other people stock up on their gold and silver, those companies become more valuable. It's about cashing out at the right time.
Yeah. But it's all, my fear is that the cash is going to be worth nothing.
Yeah.
And that there has to be something. So if there's hyperinflation, that mineral, that tangible asset, that physical thing it's based on the currency. It's based on a U.S. dollar. So if the U.S. dollar becomes hyperinflated, now Biden's talking about this infrastructure thing or whatever. I hate to get too political or whatever, but they're printing so much goddamn money. Like it's going to lead to inflationary things. It already has with the stimulus stuff. It's like that's why the stock market looks like it's doing good. It's because people got extra cash they're putting in places, right?
Well, every economist, all their theories are centered around people being rational actors and making responsible decisions with their money. And I think when you zoom out a little bit, that falls apart.
Yeah, and if the people who are buying the bonds all of a sudden want to cash them in, and there's enough people want to cash in their bonds, at the same time, that currency collapses. And if the currency collapses,
people take to the streets. I know, it's so exciting.
But the gold is still gold, and that gold will be worth whatever. If a dollar's now like a penny, then the gold would be 100 times more than it is now. You know what I mean? So it would always be like your safe bet through turbulent times. I don't know what we got. This isn't during feedback, isn't it? I'm sorry. We got sidetracked, but as we do.
We got a Dutch Hall lesson.
That's how Dutch Hall worked. But anyways, I just wanted to say a few things. Number one, last week's show, the music was back in the hall. Mike Bowe got some rave reviews.
It was so good.
One from Dan Brennan, who said he would listen every week if Mike would continue to put that much into his singing, is what he said, if he'd sing his lungs out like that.
It's kind of up to Mike.
Yeah,
for Dan Brennan.
I passed it on to him. I think there's a little bit of a bromance there. They love talking soccer.
Oh yes.
I don't know if I'm not saying anything that Mike feels the same way about Dan, but I know Dan has a bit of a man crush on Michael. I think.
And that sweet voice didn't hurt it.
No. I think it just strengthened it. I think so. I think Dan's even more in love with Mike Bowe now. So Dan Brennan, he's a married man. He's my cousin. He happens to be out of your league, and. But you know what?
Keep showering him in compliments.
Yeah, keep up with the compliments. I appreciate it very much. And
out of his league.
And we also got a piece of feedback all the way from Australia. It's our Australian correspondent. I'm gonna call him our Australian correspondent.
I like this. Yep.
Actually, I should look it up on my phone.
What part of Australia? That's the worst Australian accent you'll ever hear.
Oh, don't
Dingo, eat your baby.
The Bobby.
Shrimp the Bobby.
Don't.
He's gonna stop listening.
They say the C word down there. Do you guys say the C word?
He's a good cunt.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he's can hear. He can't respond to you, but it would take weeks. Hey, that's how it works.
Yeah.
He'll listen to it maybe next week. But there's only what I find interesting about Australia is that there's only my Australian listeners, I should say, the Dutch Hall listeners in Australia. There's only probably about 8 of them, maybe 4.
8 or 4 of the best people in Australia, though.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, I don't think these guys know each other. They seem to be spread out across Australia. But you think about that, how cool that is, because I think they listen regularly because it's pretty the same patterns you notice in downloads and stuff like that from the same parts, and you kind of think, and then some of them are providing us with feedback, and for fuck's sakes. Anyway, so there's only 4 of them in the country or 8 of them. There's got to be a way for these people to identify themselves, and then so that we can get them to go get together, throw a fucking shrimp on the Barbie together. You know what I'm talking about?
They have Comic-Con.
Yeah,
there's going to be a Dutch Hall Con in Australia.
Yeah, can you imagine that if Emil Van Steeg, invites the other 4 Australian listeners, 4 to 8.
You could almost fill a pub with the Dutch Hall fans of Australia.
I bet he's got some sort of a hay barn or something like that on his farm.
Yep.
That he can just put up some picnic tables or something like that.
Kangaroo stalls.
Get a keg of beer or something like that.
Pastas.
And then have the Dutch Hall listeners in Australia all gather and start this what do they call
Comic-Con.
what do you call it? The clown posse, the insane clown posse, where they all go in the middle of the forest in Kentucky and.
I think that's an orgy.
Oh, is it an orgy?
It does have a real name though.
Yeah, an orgy
I'll
down
Google it.
under.
It's that would be like what it would be, but for Dutch Hall. Can you imagine that? Anyways, Emil keeps sending me stuff because he knows I don't even remember what I say on the show ever.
You shouldn't.
No, I don't.
But you should have a tingling feeling that
I've said this story before.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want any duplication.
Yeah, but I see some comics that have no problems doing that, where you see them do the same jokes. Even like if you watch Norm Macdonald, he does like on the same jokes on Letterman sometimes 2-3 times, like in different years. And I'm like, wow, man. But like that's balls because I would be in my own head about that. I would never.
I think the difference is you would assume that you have a similar audience for each episode, whereas you go to an open mic, it's probably a different crowd.
Yeah, but if you hear a person that like if a listener of mine that listens every week hears me tell a story to you, that like this podcast is if I did like this podcast is brought to you by Van Dyke Party Services, if I did one of those bits, and then everyone knows that bit.
Don't
right?
live your life in regret.
Don't live your life in regret. Like me and my cousins are going to come and drink all your booze, and you're going to pay us $100 to do it, and you're going to have the time of your life. Like that commercial. All my listeners know it, but the person that was new in the room didn't know it. But then they would listen like it because they could see how that person would react to it.
I think mature, well-rounded people can zone out for 2 minutes if they heard something before and not think any less of the episode.
They might enjoy it though because they're in on the joke, they're in on the bit, right? It's like you're not in on the bit as the guest in the hall, but the people in the hall and the listeners are in on what we're going to do.
Right?
Because we would do that to. I always think of that we had Rick Natras in one time, and Rick Natras, he was like a hockey player, and we really busted his balls a lot that night. And he was giving it to us pretty bad about how rinky-dink we were and how like much of a joke it was and why did he come all this way and stuff. And then, which were all fair points,
Rinky-dink. I see literally hundreds of dollars of technology around me right now.
Oh, provided by our listeners in a lot of cases. At the beginning of the show, it was
donations.
I was a prideful thing. I didn't want to put any of my own money into it. I wanted to just generate it through itself. And then it went so far, and I couldn't do it anymore. I had to finally say, like, fuck it. Everything just sucks.
Everything.
Then I had to like put my own money into it. But
so what did this what did this Aussie say?
Oh, he keeps sending me wolf stuff because he hears me on the show. He knows I like wolf stuff, right? So he sends me this picture of this guy, and he's got like it's underpants with a wolf's head where his dick is.
That was the basis for this 20-minute segment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, I love it. But you ever, when I see a person that wears a wolf, like some sort of wolf clothing in public, like if I see
like a jean jacket with a wolf patch on the back of it. Yeah,
I saw a guy with a jean jacket with a fucking wolf patch on the back. Just the other day, it's like you read my mind with the furry collar on it. And it was like I was looking at that jacket, and I was just like I just have like envy in me
of his confidence.
Yeah, how much confidence it takes to wear that jacket, right? And then I always want to take a picture of it. I was going behind a pickup truck the other week, and the guys had a bumper sticker on his tailgate, and it said, "Shoot your local heroin dealer."
Ooh,
hey, that's what it said on it.
That's a little rough.
That's some real Philippines.
Huh?
That was the president of the Philippines was like.
Hey, he doesn't like drugs.
Yeah, he like called for an open. Like war on the drug dealers.
Like you can murder them. It's okay.
If you murder them, you're off free, and you did the society a service.
I saw a bumper sticker today that said, "I eat MILF and cookies."
Did it really?
I really did.
I eat MILF and cookies.
That's classy.
That is not one of Duterte's policies.
Nope.
No. Did it have like the little stick people of his family or of him?
No, it was just I eat MILF and cookies, and I was like, "Wow,
I eat MILF
classy
and cookies." That is crazy.
So it's a gathering of the Juggalos.
Oh, gathering of the Juggalos. Like a gathering of the Dutchalos.
The Dutchalos.
The Dutchalos.
Yeah.
Down under.
Down under Dutchalos. That's what I think we propose. Anyways, Emil, you get back to us. Let us know what you think of that. We got to get these people in Australia together and make something happen.
That's right.
We got to bring you together. We got to make you share your love for each other. Because right now, this guy's sitting in his barn. He's pulling at teats. He thinks that he's the only person in Australia that even knows what the hell we're talking about.
You're not alone.
I would like an Australiaman's opinion about why they haven't conquered New Zealand. Like, why does New Zealand get to be its own place?
You think they should? No one would even notice, right? Because they're tucked away in the corner of the map.
They just got rid of all their guns too.
Oh,
New Zealand did?
Yeah.
What did they do with them?
After the Christchurch shooting. Well, voluntary buyback.
Australia get rid of their guns too.
That's right. Maybe.
Well, they could throw kangaroos or not kangaroos,
Fist
boomerangs
fight,
and didgeridoos.
I would love the next war to be entirely fist fight.
Fist fight, yeah.
Ooh.
I think the fist fight wars should come back. Would be great.
Yeah, that's definitely who's the toughest.
Yeah, I've always been a supporter of a fist fight, like as a possibility, because I know as kind of a coward, like as deep down I'm a coward, right? That if a guy wants to really fight me, that I would be like, I would prefer to just say, no, you can't do that because it's assault, brother. Right? And
but you know that if you found yourself in a fist fight, let's say you woke up from a haze and you were in a fist fight already, you know that whatever you're fighting about, you believed in it because you hate fighting so much.
No, that's what you'd think, right?
That's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What?
What's going to happen here?
No, I don't like fighting. So
you don't like fighting?
If I fought you, there would be a very good reason.
You would feel justified in fighting me because I would have done something terrible.
Yeah, it would take so much to get me to the point of violence.
Do you want me to think of some examples?
I was like, wow, something's happening.
Yeah.
No, I won't even do that because it would be all terrible. I don't want to upset you. And
I don't want to get up either.
Right.
That's the other.
It's like watching two cowards.
Well, no, but honestly,
I'm the third.
I'm a pacifist. Like, I hate fighting, and I don't think it's really the way to solve things is to use aggression and fighting. But then when somebody gets me pissed off, I fight immediately. Like, I don't want to be the second guy in a fight ever. Like, I really don't. I don't want to. Because I've found out I'm in a fight too late a lot of times. And then, so it's better to be proactive than to be reactive because you get hit harder.
Like you're looking up at the sky and you're like, fuck, I'm in a fight.
No, yeah, that's how it would happen. So now I'm quick to act if I think I'm in one.
Yeah.
So I've maybe jumped the gun a couple times is what I'm saying.
Well,
and then, but luckily it's not been too bad. I haven't gotten real fights. Mostly it's with my brother, and he just comes charging at me like a bull.
Well, then you know you're in one.
Yeah, and you definitely know you're in one, and he started it.
Brother relationships are a bit different. It's always the other one's fault.
Yeah, I'm sure that he would say it was different. Listen to me. I was mouthing off to him, like, a lot of times a real fighter, like, I'm not a real fighter, but a real fighter, he doesn't talk at all.
Yeah, my dad told me it's the quiet ones you gotta watch out for.
It's the real fighter won't talk shit to nobody. They'll just, fight. And
real fighters don't start fights, they end them.
Yeah. And then
my gums are always flapping.
Yeah, the ones that don't really want to be in the fight are the ones that are yapping their gums all the time. They think they can talk their way out of it too.
And then you're like, I don't know what happened. You're holding an ice pack on your eye.
I always
what happened?
Yeah, your mouth's big.
You guys are a real dick.
Yeah, I have a buddy too there's a few of them. You ever see the little guys that when they're with their big friend, they have a big mouth? And
it's like Spike and whatever that cartoon. The Chihuahua and the Bulldog.
Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to. That's it, eh?
That's it for.
That's it. That's it for feedback. We got feedback. I just wanted to wrap that up. If you want to give it to us in the future, go to livefromthedutchhall@gmail.com or thedutchhall@gmail.com, or you go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. And thank you for people that are supporting our show. I appreciate it. You can always donate Patreon and PayPal as well. So thank you to everyone that supports us. It really is helpful.
You're the real heroes.
Yeah, they are the real heroes, and we hope through this lockdown, that we can give them some entertainment. I'm considering just selling old Dougie Ford during this lockdown. I'm like, you know what? I'll respect your wishes during the week. I'm going to stay at home lockdown. Yeah. But maybe on Thursday nights, I'm going to do whatever the fuck, because it's, you know what? This is essential service.
I'm going to start
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm going to start an underground haircutting ring.
Oh, yeah?
Good call.
Yeah.
By the way, I got I did my, because I knew the lockdown was coming, did my own haircut. 3rd haircut in a row, did myself.
Nice.
Easy peasy.
Can't even tell.
Yeah.
That's savings.
Yeah. Total savings.
It's a Dutch haircut.
It's also time savings. Like, I didn't have to
Did you get your wife to, like, balance the bowl on your head?
Yeah, exactly. I know it doesn't look good, but you know what? Hats cover up a lot of shit. And in 2 weeks, every haircut looks the same.
This is almost 3 months of facial hair. You don't need to tell me about not looking good.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm a hairless individual.
But the lucky thing is that you don't have to do much maintenance, eh?
Almost none. I bought a pack of 4 razor blades. I expect that to last me through my adulthood.
Yeah.
Well, the first 3 are going to be like weeks 2, 3, and 5, and then the 4th one's going to last you about 183 weeks.
Yeah.
I think that's how that goes.
Yeah, the last one, it lasts me forever.
You get your mileage.
Yeah, especially the last one. And it's only until I use those things forever because they're super expensive.
Yeah, man.
And they lock them away too, so they're not easy
Yeah,
to buy.
they know that people are stealing them.
Yeah, because they're still getting expensive.
I see them on like not Kijiji, Marketplace, packs of razors. I'm like, I know where they came from.
You knocked them off a truck.
Yeah, a van pulled up my backyard with speakers and razor blades.
Razor blades, man, that's like currency, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, that's too much, eh? That's why maybe that's another sponsor we got to look at getting. A cheap razor company.
Dollar Shave Club.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't say their name until they give us some cake, Kevin.
Fucked up.
Remember, it's all about the cheddar.
No free ads.
We learned about that. So I did want to talk, Ryan, about how we met.
Ooh.
And because I did all this thinking, it's going for nothing unless I say it on the show.
Okay.
So I remember you from Emerson, right? Is that where you got your start? And the first time where you did your first set?
I did my second set there. And probably most of them at this point, like half of my sets have been there.
Oh, at Emerson, right?
Yeah, my favorite place.
Yeah, it was a great room, eh?
Yeah, right by the university.
So when you started doing it, who was hosting that room?
Mace and Jordan.
Oh yeah. So that was like. So I didn't do when Mace and Jordan.
Maybe it was 2014 or 2015.
Yeah, because it was always so hard to get booked there. And you'd have to go for the lotto spot.
Yeah.
Because it was an hour away, it was like, I really want to get a booked spot.
That's pretty rough.
So
for someone like you, they should draw the lotto at 6 p.m. and then text you.
Yeah. That would be nice. But at the time, I was not known. So, like, no one knew if I was going to suck or whatever. So they didn't want to take a risk or to help me out because who the fuck cares to show up and do it. So I would just take book spots instead.
Yeah.
At Amsterdam and Brantford on Tuesday nights, and I didn't do Emerson until they booked me there.
Okay.
And then when they booked me there, it was clear how good that room was, And,
yeah, people are there to have a good time.
Yeah. It was in a nice part of town by the university, like you said, and it was like
beautiful young girls.
All the comics that built that before, like Clifford and Mace and all them.
Yeah.
They did a great job of making people go to that place to watch comedy.
For sure.
And anyways, I remember you there. You had a clipboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were doing jokes. And I always remember you were rocking a mullet, right?
I've had a handful of mullets in my adulthood. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I met you, I remember you had you loved your mullet, and it was like not the first time I met you, but like there was like 2 or 3 times later where you had to cut your mullet for your sister's wedding or something, or like there was like an occasion like something. Do you have a sister?
Yeah, I do. And my mom has a hairdressing license and would cut my hair. My sister, I think it was for a Christmas dinner, wanted me to cut it off, and I said no, but I'll get it cleaned up.
Oh yeah.
And then my mom just went right across the back with the scissors and said, "Oops."
I remember you were heartbroken.
Cool. Yeah, that is like theft.
Yeah, like it was like because there's something like you grow attached, like you grow grow an affection for your mullet over time. As I remember.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, Kevin, you had a mullet. There's photo evidence of that. I had a mullet as well. I remember Waterford, where these guys went to school.
It's like I think it was a school haircut for a while.
School haircut, yeah. Like I remember, I stopped. By the time I got in high school, I think I got my mullet cut because I went to city school. It wasn't cool anymore.
No.
And then
that's what we were rocking.
And then I go to university. All my buddies from Waterford, they end up going to university with me, and they all have mullets when they show up there. Like
some people perm the back of their mullet.
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, and it was. I remember then when they got to university, it was like no one's really doing that so much anymore. And then we had our friend, remember Cora, Daryl Cora?
Yeah, man.
He used to play guitar on the show before too. And that guy took his mullet into like deep into the 2000s, you know, like probably 2000.
That's a good man.
I couldn't imagine him without it, honestly.
And when he cut it, it broke a bit of my heart to see that go because he had such commitment for it, you know?
Yeah.
And he's such a nice guy.
Great guy.
Like, that's the thing, too. You know, and I have a certain appreciation for a person that's not like one of these fucking David Beckham type, you know, mullet of the minute, you know?
Yeah.
You know, stylish. I'm not one of these guys that sees a hockey player with a mullet. He's going to wear a mullet, or he's going to, likes Theo Vaughn, so he's going to wear a mullet, you know? This is a person that has a deep-rooted love for the mullet and the lifestyle.
Always been toting the mullet.
Do you play hockey? Did you play hockey?
I learned how to skate at 23, and I've been playing since.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't come from hockey, but I play now.
But you had the hair before the ability.
Yeah. And I think it made skating come a little easier.
It's like your destiny.
Yeah,
Ron Duque.
There's nothing nicer. There's nothing better than the
flow.
Yeah, the flow flying behind you.
A little lettuce.
If you went bald on top, would you rock the skullet?
Against like all greater conventional wisdom, I think so.
Yeah, like the Hulk Hogan.
I gotta tell you something. I worked for a guy. He was my boss when I was at the bank. My boss, he had a skullet, and you know how hard it is to respect a guy who's got a skullet? It's hard. At least in the times when I'm just saying, it's not a haircut that demands respect.
That guy must have felt unfireable if he showed up to work like that.
He says his wife liked his curls.
Like curls are almost strictly for the girls.
He had his hairline started like below his ear. Like,
oh no!
That's
like,
really that's commitment.
It was great. It was like a riffraff from.
That's the low flow.
Oh yeah. I don't know if this gets back to him because I think people that work there still listen to the show, but I don't give a fuck anymore. Like I don't think they can take away my pension or whatever. I don't have anything.
They can't shut you down because of freedom of speech.
Plus, I'm not saying anything isn't true. The guy had a skullet when he was my boss, and it was fucking embarrassing for all of us to admit that to people.
All you've really said is that the haircut lacks respect.
Yeah, it does lack respect, and also he was a bit of a doofus.
D-bag?
Yeah.
But you'd fight to the death for his right to be that doofus.
Yeah, sure, whatever you want to do. Whatever floats your boat, dude. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
A nice toupee might have looked good on that skullet.
Yeah, but what I would have done, I said, just go to the fucking wood, man. Just go to the wood. He's like, no, my wife likes the curls. I'm like, ugh.
Or like the Joe Dirt.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think that once God told you not to have hair anymore, you don't just keep growing the hair on your neck.
Eventually, you have to embrace baldness, yeah.
Yeah, you got to eventually say, like, he took it all away. The neck hair isn't real hair. You got to let go. That's what I'm saying.
Man.
And I'm sorry, honey.
I haven't seen that guy in years. I wonder if he still got it. Like, literally, when I quit,
please call in.
He still had it, yeah. So if anyone knows if there's...
Are you going to drop his full name?
No, I won't do that. I'm not going to say that. Then they can get me on something. At least now I could just say, I was just making it up.
Yeah, okay. Some dude.
I want to start using my one boss's name on stage when I tell jokes because it's a good name for the joke. And then there's another one that's an old... There was this guy. This guy's name was... I don't know if I should say his name.
Say it.
But it's his nickname. I'll say his nickname because that was what's so great. His nickname was Whomper Thompson.
Whomper.
Whomper
Sounds like a NASCAR driver.
Whomper Thompson. That's a great name, man. Like
My-
you can tell stories about Whomper Thompson, man.
Fuck yeah.
My
Legend of Whomper Thompson.
Yeah.
my family doctor who just recently retired, his name was Richard Packer.
A Dick Packer.
Yeah,
Nice.
no, that's a tough
Nice.
one to not like laugh in his face about.
Oh Jesus! He comes from a long line of Dick Packers. It's
Yeah.
a family name.
Yeah.
You got to think about that. We got a couple doozies around here, but I hate saying their name on the show.
We won't do it.
But there's some where you're like, did you know when you named them that?
Yeah, some parents are fucking cruel.
What about that race car driver, Dick Trickle?
Yeah, Dick Trickle. That definitely sounds like something you got in college at spring break.
For sure.
You gotta go with the hard Richard if your last name is Trickle.
Yeah.
You gotta get ahead of these things.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I'm a Peter, man. You got to watch it, with
Unless
the
you're
Dick
Peter
names.
North.
You got to go, because, like, if you're, like, I can't go with a middle name that's, like, I don't know. Oh, shit. I lost my point on that one. But it's like
That's all right.
Harry, Dick, like Peter, Rod,
Yeah.
all those guys. We got an affinity. We got, like, a certain connection with one another. When you hear about one of those guys, when you hear a guy's name that sounds like is a dick,
Yeah, if your last name is Cox, like COX.
Yeah, I'm
you gotta
like,
be
I
careful.
feel a little bit for you because my name's Peter,
Yeah.
I got people call her cock that.
Mhm.
Willie. Hey, Willie, I get you, man.
Yeah.
People, we have a kinship.
If your last name
It's
is
William.
yeah, if your last name is Beaver, you got to be careful what you name your first kid. Your kid's first name.
Yeah.
Yep.
If
No
your-
Harolds.
If your name's like Twatty Cuntington,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep.
Okay. So Ryan, with you, your mullet was a true love.
Yeah.
I thought about it. It was true. It came off of you. You seem like a very authentic guy. Like you're not going to do it because you think it's going to be what other people are going to like. You're doing it because it makes you feel good, right?
Right.
Well-
And when I got rid of it, it was just woke up one day. I think we're done for now. Weight off my shoulders, so to speak.
Yeah. And then you lived your life without it. You learned to live without it.
Both times in my adulthood, within 2 days of getting rid of the mullet, I got laid. So there's some powers that be.
Really? Well, that is correlation for sure. Is that it's 2 days, eh?
Yeah.
So the mullet, you loved it that much that you grew it back again,
Yeah.
even though you knew it had pussy power, and then you tested it, or then you tested it again.
The second one, I was dating the girl, and I made sure that she was in it for the real deal because we
You had it first.
met with the mullet. Yeah.
Oh, is that who you were with still? No.
No.
This girl's never known you, the mullet side of you.
She's asked me to grow it back, and
Ooh.
I mean,
Hey, look at that.
you never know.
Yeah, now it's not. Now it's like it's like commonplace again. I think it's.
I don't see people often enough.
You don't.
I'm not doing it for them.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I that's what we were talking about before. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I like about you because you don't give a shit. You do it. You do it however you want to do. Like to me, that's the highest honor in humanity is a person that doesn't give a shit. Like that's who I like the most. Is a person that's authentically like themselves. Like that's freedom for me. I think that's what you want to achieve.
Yeah, but in comedy, you have that balance of, well, I want them to find this funny,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to formulate how I do to kind of make it into what they were looking for. I'll fix it within myself to make it, like you said, authentic.
Yeah.
But maybe there's a better order to do it, or
Yeah,
more
but-
Right.
confidence to put behind it. But
Well, I'll tell you something about the way, because when I started watching you, and you're like, this is very common of all comedians. So I hope you forgive me for saying this if it's offensive in any way. But like but if at the beginning you start telling jokes, you're concentrating on the joke, right? And that's not as good as when you let your bits of yourself come out. And then when I saw you, like I think we did the barber shop or something.
yeah, Hendry's.
Hendry's, yeah, that was like that you were cracking me up that time, and it was because it was the real parts of you that come out, like the real honesty that seems to exude through your face somehow. That's what makes it would crack me up. It would make people laugh, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then so it's more than the joke sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think we get caught up in thinking about it, trying to figure out the puzzle sometimes. And if we would just let it, like, just not think.
Certainly, and I mean, I can relate it to skating a bit. Once you stop thinking about what your feet are doing on the ice and you start thinking about what you want your whole body to do, your feet become automatic. So in comedy, once you know your jokes well enough, you're like you said, you don't need to think about them. You can now think about I'm gonna throw my attention at this side of the room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call out this person in the audience.
Yeah.
You kind of get above your own material.
Yeah.
And can tweak it on the fly.
Yeah.
I think that's the sweet spot, the flow that a comedian wants to get to.
Yeah, I think it's like a poker. You know, you start out playing your cards, and then you play your opponent's cards, and then you eventually play what you think your opponent thinks your cards are.
Yeah.
And then it's that way in comedy too. You keep stepping up. There was the jokes, then it's the audience, and then it becomes being present. You know, like I keep finding you figure out one layer, and then you're like, if I could only just do this, because you see another guy do it.
Yeah.
And you're like, if I could just do what he did. I watched Marita Lopez one time. I got to open for him in Cambridge one time, and I don't know if you've ever seen Marita Lopez, but he's a great comic. I really enjoy him. But I watched him take the room, and what he did was he's coming as a headliner, and right away he talked to a guy in one corner of the room, then he talked to a person in the other corner of the room, then he started connecting those two people to make them somehow know each other and have a relationship with each other through the show, and then he brought everybody into the one thing, so that it became by the time he got done with all that and had everyone in the room was focused on him, you know, and then he could do whatever he wanted, you know. He had him in the palm of their hand, you know. And I looked at it like he was doing a magic trick, man. Like, it was like, wow. I mean, the big thing is no matter how strong your material is, if you can't cultivate that engagement with the audience, it's never going to be as good as it could be. Yeah. When you have the whole audience kind of invested in what's coming next.
Yeah, otherwise you're just reciting jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got to be damn good jokes to pull that off. Like
Mitch Hedberg,
Yeah.
And more than just the jokes, though, the presence and...
Yeah. And I think the thing about live comedy, and this is why I don't think Zoom's ever going to replace it or drive-ins or anything like that, but if you go to the real benefit of a good live comedy show is the fact that you're witnessing a one-of-a-kind experience, you know, like you in that room listening to those comics that night. That's a unique experience that only you people in that room are going to have.
It's the only time you're ever going to see that exact show.
Yeah. And so the good part about it is that the things that aren't rehearsed and the off the cuff stuff and the things that go wrong, and even with the rock concert, you know, when a guy breaks his strings, it's more interesting than when a show goes flawlessly, you know?
Oh, I love when a singer fucks up a lyric.
Yeah. Like when people get stuck and stuff like that and you see a bit of the humanity of it all, I mean, that's what people really like. Well, that's what I like, at least. I can't speak for people, I guess.
I like watching people plow through, too, like when they do fuck up.
Yeah, I love it.
They just...
And, I mean, it's an opportunity to do it with grace.
Yeah.
It doesn't... If you become awkward and, you'll let it kind of collapse what you were doing, that's the sign of an amateur. Whereas if you stumble and make it look like it was part of the act almost, then that's professionalism to me. Yeah,
you're to acknowledge the fail or the bomb
blunder.
Yeah, the blunder, like the joke that misses. When you acknowledge that miss, people laugh.
That's a humanizing moment.
Yeah, then they're like, okay, this guy gets the fact that he sucks. He's not delusional. I'm not watching an insane person.
That I think puts people right off, is when people don't understand
that they're not funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What was not working.
Yeah, yeah. And that's when they start yelling at the crowd saying it's their fault. I mean, that never works. That never gets them back.
Locker room.
Yeah, I would watch comics do it all the time. They would get so mad, and then they would end up shitting on the crowd the whole time. And then by the time it came to me, I would just be nice to them, to the audience.
Sometimes it's too little, too late.
Yeah, a lot of times it is. Yeah, but
I mean, sometimes it is if it's the room's fault, it's just the whole thing didn't come together. Maybe the host didn't get them right off the bat. Maybe it wasn't advertised well, and there's a lot of like regulars at the bar just trying to get drunk in peace.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Yeah, and they do. They always do, yeah.
But pointing that out to the audience is never going to change their mind.
No, and that's the thing. Like, you still want to try to make the best of it. And a lot of times all it takes, the crowd doesn't do anything different, but the previous 6 guys said that he hates us and go fuck ourselves and we hope you die. That's how they leave. Literally, I've seen comics leave the stage. That's what they're saying to an audience that didn't like them. And then next comic's got to go up and try to make them laugh.
Offer hand jobs in the parking lot.
Yeah, so then so I had to go up last, I remember, but all you do is you kind of go up there. They're not reacting any different to you, but you just say, hey, I don't know what their problem was with you guys. I like you guys.
You seem good.
Yeah, you seem like you're good people. And then the people that stayed to you at the end, they stayed. They've been suffering through these people abusing them. Now at least I should be nice to them that they stayed to the end. Like, that's what I always thought, And it always works better, too, because I've only lost my shit on an audience member one time, Keeley House in Hamilton.
Oh, that was a rough room.
Yeah, and the guy took a full fucking phone call on, like, I'm in the middle of my set. You only get, like, it was fucking so many comics.
Yeah, 3 minutes, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. They gave you 5, but it was... No, I don't know. But it was like, it was Madhouse, right? So then I go up there and there's like, it's packed, but this guy comes in with a fucking bicycle into the bar, and then he takes a phone call, full fucking voice. And I remember I'm halfway through a joke, and he's talking in full voice to this person while I'm trying to perform. I can hear everything he's saying, and it just set me off. Like, it really triggered something in me. So I was like, dude, fuck off. Like, get out of here. Like, shut your phone off. Like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, your situational awareness is fucking daft.
Yeah, get out. And so I was really abusive to him. But I remember that ended up making me, like, a lot of comics said that actually made him think that I was for real. Because I actually stood up for myself instead of just taking it like a pussy or whatever, Like,
I've definitely been on the pussy end of it.
Yeah.
And then once I started hosting a show, it became more of like, okay, well, this is my show. I need to communicate with the audience that disrespecting the comics isn't cool.
Yeah. Yeah. As a host, that is your job, really, is to police it and let the acts just do their act so they can get the information from it. Yeah. That's why I like hosting. I like taking that heat.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I don't mind saying, okay, you guys treat me like shit, but leave those guys alone.
Yeah, I invite them. I'll be like, everybody will practice this. Give me the finger now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice.
I'll take your slings and arrows. Let the comics do their fight.
It's fun to be a villain.
Yeah. I hosted the show in Sarnia one time, and it was this guy's birthday, but he was a cock at the table the whole time. Like, he was just yapping through everyone's act, and it was disruptive to the crowd. To be honest, I couldn't hear him from the stage. Like, I couldn't really hear him, but I know in the audience, they didn't like that table. And so they were yelling out to me that it was this guy's birthday. And so I suggested to the crowd that we sing Happy Birthday, and you can hear the crowd go like, fuck no, like, fuck that guy. Like, the crowd just didn't like him.
Yeah.
So then we just said, how about on the count of 3, we tell this guy to go fuck himself, right? Like, I forget what his name was, but we all yelled like, hey, Mitch, go fuck yourself.
Right.
It's the guy's birthday, and the crowd was into that like crazy. It made a big difference. Those are the times, those little things that end up being the ones that make me like the live show, because that's not something you write before you go in.
No, you couldn't.
And you galvanize the people.
Yeah, and the whole crowd hates you. Like it's more fun as a comic to say, be nice to the shitty person in the audience, and then tell him the rest of the crowd hates him.
Yeah. Get the crowd to turn on him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's, like a good comic is just a bad day away from leading a revolutionary mob.
Oh, I like to believe so.
Get your pitchforks.
Oh, we do. What time is it now, Kev? Do you know?
It's 10:30.
Okay, yeah, we should wrap her up. But I just wanted to do one quick game before we end. And I want to thank you for coming in very much.
No problem.
Yeah, you enjoy yourself first trip out?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming in. If you were still allowed to do comedy shows, we'd be able to plug your dates at this point in time, tell people where they can see you.
Yeah.
But it'd be like, wait till fucking COVID's over.
Yeah, I'm not trying to rush anything. Just announce the fucking new lockdown.
Yeah, I know. I had a show in Oshawa that I was booked to headline in April on the 23rd, but I'm pretty sure it's not happening.
What I'm hoping, though, is that everyone's been pent up for over a year. Once things do open up, they'll be flying and full crowds all the time is the hope.
Yeah, that's what they're like, the new renaissance, like when everything gets to open up again. Oh, I can't wait. It should be great. But we want to thank you for coming in. I did want to update people that the last year's death pool was won by Lori Ball, I believe. And I also wanted to say that Lori had drafted Beverly Cleary for like 5 death pools in a row. And in 2000,
That's hate speech.
in 2021, the one year that we do not do a death pool,
Oh boy.
Beverly Cleary decides to pass away to stick it up Lori's ass at 105 years old. So Beverly Cleary, way to outlive my sister's hateful wishes upon you. Life well lived. And I just wanted to do quick survey to end. Greatest mullet of all time.
Ooh.
Greatest mullet of all time. If you had to pick one, historic mullet. And I could throw out some.
I think Ally Afraidy had a good one.
Ooh, Ally Afraidy, good one. That is one out of nowhere.
Yep.
I was thinking Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, that's a good mullet.
That is a filthy piece of Confederate
And I don't know
flag.
It's a weaponry, man.
And how nobody saw them coming is beyond me.
Andre Agassi, if you look at
That's a
him
good
in his heyday in like the tennis days.
The Brooke Shields days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agassi's mullet was off the
Yarmer Yager.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
Yager.
I love Yager through his career.
Yep.
And Danny McBride in Eastbound.
Oh,
Down.
does that ever a good one? That is a great one.
Yeah.
And then
Plus, he's the perfect piece of shit to go with it.
Oh, is he ever?
yeah, that is a great movie. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, well, that's a great list, and who can forget Martina Navratilova or Ellen DeGeneres? Throw one in for the ladies,
She had one, yeah.
Yeah, we can't forget that they have them too.
Mm-hmm.
Who did it? The girl who played in Twilight did it for the documentary.
Sad Girl.
Yeah,
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart did one.
I'm amazed I got that, man.
No,
That was really well done.
Thank you. We were gonna have to add that in post.
yeah.
Kristen Stewart.
But well, anyways, we got a good list there. Who would you go with? Yager? You give it the crown to
It's a good
to
one.
Jags?
Yeah,
That's a really good one.
just because like,
It was full and luscious.
and it spent a lot of time horizontal.
Yeah.
That's a big factor
Cool.
in mullets for me. Like
Ooh.
he's got the wind under his mullet. That's what we're here for.
I always picture Ally and Frady in that slapshot contest with the bald patch and the. It was good, but Yager's got him just based on skill alone.
Also, he hung on to it a long time,
He did.
right? Yeah.
Well, after it was cool.
Well after it's cool.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
also a true committed guy to it and the real deal. So he's a great winner, and I didn't even see it coming. So excellent choice. Thank you very much for everyone for listening to the show. If you'd like to, please follow us on all the socials and tell a friend, share an episode, do something nice for us. Thank you to everyone that does that. And until next week, we'll see you NT. See you next Thursday. Oh, there's the camera. Bye.